Hey everyone, it's Broman here. I'm using my cell phone's camera this time. The reason is just because I use my laptop's camera, but if I'm like on a different, like if I'm using Google Chrome stuff to read stuff, it seems to like shut down or whatever. So I'm just gonna use this and uh, when I'm doing certain videos for things on the websites and stuff like that. And today I'm going to be talking about Operation Skyhook, which I've mentioned before. It is pretty much, I'll give you the overview. Operation Skyhook was the code name given to the Rebel Alliance's operation to obtain the Death Star plans and ultimately destroy the Imperial battle station, the Death Star. Operation Skyhook would become one of the most devastating series of battles of the war. The entire population of the Alliance allied planet Alderaan would be wiped out by the super laser of the Death Star during the Battle of Yavin. The Death Star was destroyed by a lucky shot by Luke Skywalker, wiping out hundreds of thousands of Imperial personnel, including Grand Moff Wilhoff Tarkin. So that is just the summary of it. But I am gonna pretty much. It's gonna be probably a long video because I am gonna read through everything. Of course, I won't read. I don't think I'll read the conclusion because everyone pretty much knows the conclusion of how it ends, which is a devastation. The destruction of the Death Star. So I will go ahead and read through this. I'm gonna start with learning about the super weapon, and then go down from there to the operation stuff. So I will try to read as fast as I can while not get my words mixed up here. So, starting off with learning about the super weapon in 2 BBY before the Battle of Yavin. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. The rebel leaders Mon Mothma, Bail Organa, and Garnbel Iblis were captured by Darth Vader and conducted to the battle station. They became aware of the Death Star's existence, but were not fully aware of its true nature. Operation Skyhook was launched shortly after their escape and the death of Galen Merrick. And Galen Merrick is Starkiller. He was the secret apprentice of Darth Vader, in case you guys weren't aware of that. There's 2 video games that you can play, but I guess the only one that you really need to play is the Star Wars Force Unleashed game. That's pretty much about him, and then how things just get into the flow of going into episode 4. Anyways, so rumors about the existence of a massive Imperial construction began with the rescue of the Genu rebel escapees from the Star's End secret prison facility informed the Alliance about Wookiee slaves working for a secret project. Meanwhile, R2-D2's investigation of the Imperial computer networks led him to uncover evidence of an Imperial superweapon. Rumors confirmed his further inquiries among the galaxy's underworld. Okay. And let's see, so we go. The Alliance rescued Wookiee slaves on the transfers on Toril. Examining the ship's documents, the Alliance learned of the existence of a convoy of weapons near Oran 3, an assault. I didn't just read or something like that, did I? If I did, I apologize. Sometimes my mind goes back on a sentence for some reason. Weapons near Oran 3, an assault against the convoy resulted in the obtaining of Imperial communications satellites, which later transmitted the super weapons schematics to the rebel outpost AX-235. The rebel spies who manned it learned about the definite existence of the Death Star. So yeah, about the same time, Princess Leia Organa went on a mercy mission to deliver medical supplies and equipment to the, Reltiri High Council. However, her real objective was supporting the Reltiri resistance movement with heavy weaponry and military-grade equipment to fight the Imperial occupation troops. Let's see, because they don't want to get lost. She was permitted to land by Commodore Lord Tion, head of the Imperial Task Force. There, Leia rescued a wounded rebel soldier, Basso, who later revealed the existence of the first Death Star on Alderaan, Bail Organa told his foster daughter that Basso's story of a top-secret Imperial weapons project supervised by Grand Moff Tarkin was confirmed to be truthful. Later, Lord Tion visited Alderaan and met the Organas. Leia tricked him into revealing that the Death Star was a moon-sized battle station equipped with a super laser capable of destroying entire planets. Tion gossiped that an Imperial convoy was transporting the Death Star's plans from Grand Moff Tarkin's headquarters to the Imperial vaults. After Leia accidentally revealed her knowledge about the Death Star battle station, Tion realized that the Organas had connections to the Rebel Alliance, but he died before he was able to inform the Imperial authorities. Acting on the advice of Prince Leia, identified two operatives merely as an anonymous friend in the Senate, Mon Mothma ordered a further investigation into the nature of this weapon. Using data already collected, the rebels discovered that cargo shipments to a research station doing work on the Death Star were being sent from the Vergesso asteroids. Ramus and Tilly's personally recruited Han Solo, despite Solo's reluctance, to plant a tracking device and EMP in one of the cargo containers bound for the research station. So Han Solo was involved in that stuff. I hope the Han Solo movie isn't connected to Rogue One with that stuff, because that's just gonna piss people off. The tracking device revealed that the station's location over Korolag, and then triggered the EMP and paralyzed Imperial security forces, while Antilles led a team to attack the station, recovering valuable data from this data haul. The team was able to confirm the name of the project, Death Star, and gain an idea of its destructive capabilities, but they were without technical schematics detailed enough to reveal a weakness. Mon Mothma then instructed Leia to begin intensified operations to gather relevant intelligence and assigned Captain Antilles to service her aboard Tantive 4. Okay, so yeah, that's why he was by her and stuff. But anyways, when the Death Star whereabouts became more well known, the rebels proceeded with the mission to Danuta, during which rebel operative Kyle Katarn, who had recently defected from the Empire, like Finn defecting from the First Order, was sent to retrieve the plans from a secret Imperial base in the city of Trid. Due to their importance, these plans were transported physically to Prince Leia aboard the diplomatic vessel Tantive 4 by the shuttle Maria. In addition to the fragments gathered from AX-234 and Danuta, it seems another piece of the plans were delivered from a rebel base on Paulus Massa. These plans were stolen during a prison break on the Death Star. The 501st Legion of Stormtroopers attempted to recover this information on Paulus Massa, but it was smuggled out. This led to the 501st Legion being saved from the destruction of the Death Star. Further information was retrieved on Darknell by Senator Garnbell Iblis, then presumed dead, but shortly after the death of his family at the hands of Imperial agents. The last part of the plans were retrieved by rebels operating out of Tobrawa, but Imperial reinforcements led by Darth Vader blockaded the system. The information was then delivered to the Star Cruiser Liberty, but the sudden appearance of the Star Destroyer Immortal forced the transfer to stop. Under the guise of a mercy mission, Princess Leia Organa arrived in the system aboard the Tantive 4, hoping her diplomatic immunity as a member of the Imperial Senate would protect her. However, Vader's flagship, the Devastator, detected the transfer, and Princess Leia was forced to flee the system with Vader in pursuit. And then pretty much everyone knows the story from there, with them being pursued. So yeah, that's pretty much the basis of it. It wasn't how it goes down Rogue One. I mean, if you just read this stuff, it actually sounds pretty interesting of how it all goes down, really. And I think if they had just read this, it just would have been better, because the only reason that movie was made was just to explain the whole thing with Luke, get into that area. And I always just thought of it as just a vent or something like that for the super weapon, which they could have just said. Doesn't make sense. It's like, with something having that much heat and stuff, there needs to be a ventilation system. So that's just what I went with. I'm like, well, that's just one of the things. And I think that's what they said it was, um, for it, for this event to the reactor or whatever. And it just goes to show that that movie could have been better. It could have had Kyle Katarn in it and all these other things going down, but they had to put it in a different way. And the director Krennic didn't really need to exist. It pretty much was Grand Moff Tarkin who was overseeing the operation. But of course, I mean, with episode 3, the ending, the construction of it was already beginning. Unless I was wrong about maybe something with the Clone Wars stuff. I don't know, because I know Tarkin was in charge of the investigation of Ahsoka Tano. With what happened with the attack on the stormtroopers base there on Coruscant. So, uh, you know, I'm not exactly sure. I just know he was there at the end of episode 3. So we'll just have to, just have to go with the flow on this bullshit with Disney and Lucasfilm. But other than that, yeah, I just want to get that a quick read, a rundown stuff of the way how, I know how the plans were originally. So, when you watch Collider video and it says, well, no one knows the story, it's like, there's people who know the story of how the Death Star plans got stolen and stuff. I mean, you don't really need to make a movie about that, but they had to make a movie. I'm just like, all you had to do is either just rework those video games into one video game and stuff, which they could have done. They could have just taken all those video games and bunched it into one video game and just gone with that, or done a book or something like that instead of turning it into a film, because the film just it was a mess. But I didn't like it. I've tried watching it and stuff, and for me it didn't work. But that's it. If you want to take a look, just go to the Wikipedia website and just type in Operation Skyhook. And yeah, just give it a read, and hopefully what you read here is something that you like more than what was delivered in Rogue One. But yeah, that's it, and thanks for watching.